I do.
But let's go with the evolution.
Like,
I gotta see if he's as goated as I've heard.
I want him to be just like
within the
Insomniac
concept.
Spider-Man, yeah. Is that his OG storyline? Who is goated in writing?
Okay. So what we heard was that he's just like
the Insomniac Spider-Man. He is what J. Jonah Jameson paid for. He wanted him to have a new Spider-Man. And
he's supposed to be the foil to Spider-Man, and the fact that they never used that concept in any of the movies was just kind of wild to
It's
us.
criminal, dude, because it's such a cool concept, especially with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
They could have definitely used that after...
where J.K. Simmons could have just bought Scorpion and said, whoops.
Yeah, whoops, gonna have
and
to
then it's
make
character development.
Spider-Man look worse.
And then it would have been character development for J. Jonah Jameson in his trilogy or fourth movie.
All right, let's
I
go.
don't care whether or not he did the fourth movie or not. I would just love to see J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons just do that.
Both J's.
Scorpion. I've always known him as a Spider-Man villain, kind of a lower B or T tiered villain who is not really a threat.
Beard, see my ass.
Give Spider-Man a hard time, but Spider-Man's always inevitably going to win. What else do we know about him? He's a Scorpion. He's a strong guy. He's made by J. Jonah Jameson to defeat Spider-Man. He's got the suit. He's got the tail.
He's
tail
literally
stuff.
made by J. Jonah
These are the
Jameson.
standard things we know about Scorpion. What if I told you that everything
He's stuck
we know
in the
about
suit?
Scorpion is somewhat true, but different, and it was developed over time. In his early appearances, he was more than just a Spider-Man villain. A lot of the things we know about him aren't quite true. He was a major threat, and I think that is part of what makes the appeal of a villain so much better than that of a hero. When you get a new hero in comics, it's usually one writer, sometimes the same artist, and they have time to develop the whole thing. Where it comes to a villain, he's appearing sporadically over several different years, sometimes by different writers, and they each contribute something different, and different artists bring different tweaks to it. And over time, that develops this character.
Yeah, explain
over the
it.
course of 17 appearances over 20 years can shape into something that
17 appearances? He ain't get shit.
He's criminally underrated.
Scorpion, as we're going to talk about here today. So yeah, settle on in, leave a like, subscribe if you're new here, and we're going to take a look at the early appearances of Scorpion. He debuted in Amazing Spider-Man in late 1964. I should say that is Mac Gargan debuted in Amazing Spider-Man number
1964.
by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Human Torch, Sandman, typical Spidey adventures, but then there's this guy at the end, and J. Jonah Jameson hires him to follow Peter Parker. He's like, Parker gets those Spider-Man pictures somehow, I need to know how. So he hires just some guy. We later find out it's Mac Gargan. His first full appearance as Scorpion is Amazing Spider-Man number 20, the next issue. You can get him right there on the cover. He shows up. As I said, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, and we find out that it's J. Jonah Jameson hired Mac Gargan. Mac Gargan's like, yeah, Peter Parker's here, and J. Jonah Jameson gets word of a scientist that is actually doing experiments and mutating things. Like, you know what, Gargan, I got a better idea. Don't do that. You're gonna beat the crap out of Spider-Man for me. Jameson hires him for $10,000 to undergo this experiment, and that's
He's a
$10,000.
He's a private eye guy.
Oh,
he gets hired by J. Jonah Jameson just to follow around, like, you know, in Spider-Man 1.
Oh, that's him.
Where Green Goblin goes to Spider-Man or J. Jonah and says, "Where's Spider-Man?" He takes the pictures. I know that he knows where Spider-Man is. So instead of confronting Peter off rip as his boss and just saying, "Where do you get the fucking pictures?" he says, "I'll hire a PI to follow Peter." And then
where does he go insane now?
J. Jonah gets a wind of a certain scientist genetically altering people, and then just says, "You know what, PI? You could do something else for me. I'll give you $10,000 to become a super soldier." And that's where we're at right now. A lot different than I thought. I thought he was going to be a military guy. You know,
I thought he was
somebody built for the... Because his son's an astronaut, so you'd think he'd be connected.
Yeah. He was supposed to, like, go batshit, or at least...
Yeah, apparently he might be stuck in the suit. So, you know, that can make you mad. Like Springtrap?
He could be, but that depends on your Scorpion. Because the one in the suit, I don't...
We'll figure it out.
Something. He's like, oh, okay. So he goes and they shave his head for whatever reason. He drinks a formula and holds onto these rods and then gets the suit and he becomes the Scorpion. He's strong. He's got this tail. Like, a lot of things we know about him. I personally hate this costume. I don't like the
He looks like Kick-Ass.
It's dumb. But he shows up and he, like, beats the crap out of Spider-Man. He takes him out. He thumps him on the head with that tail. And that's, I gotta say, about Steve Ditko's art, you can really feel, like, the tail whumping him. I don't know how to describe it, but I can feel it. He takes out Spider-Man. He's like, you know what? Screw the 10 grand. I'm gonna rob a bank and stuff. And J. Jonah Jameson's like, oh no, I don't want this.
Yep, he says, screw the 10 grand. I got all the superpowers. I just beat the shit out of Superman. Nobody can stop me.
So he is
Spider-Man.
I forgot his name. Fucking Titan from Megamind.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
He just said fuck it.
being tracked back to me. Meanwhile, the scientist has discovered that, oh, you know what? This isn't good for humans, and it's going to make him insane unless I can give him this potion right now. It's just a magical...
He got Green Goblin. He goes insane. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, we know that now his origin is just that. That's so cool, so fascinating to me.
That's why they didn't use him in the Tobey Maguire stuff, because he's literally Green Goblin.
I know, but it's the same thing, though.
Would have been cool.
It still would have been cool in the Tobyverse. Or Raimi-verse.
He's like, this will take away his insanity. And Scorpion's like, nah, buzz off. And he chases Scorpion up the building. He's like, you gotta drink this, you gotta drink this. And Scorpion's like, no. And he falls to his death. So I guess any hope for Scorpion's sanity has gone out the window. And Spider-Man shows up and he gets his butt whipped again. By this point, Scorpion's like, you know what? I'm also mad at Jameson. I'm gonna kill Jameson. So I don't want this reversed. I'm gonna cut back everything that could trace this back and I'm gonna stop it all. So I'm not getting reversed. I'm not turning back. So like right there, he's like, oh, this is great. I love this power. I love being the Scorpion, which is not how we would understand him later. Not too long later, right? 9 issues more. Once again, by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. He was in prison and he said he convinced them to give them his suit. He was playing like, oh, you know, I can heal better if I have my suit, and they give him a suit and he breaks out of prison.
No shit! Well, that's just fucking stupid. Dude, they have a Djibouti Dubs.
Dude, I'm so sick of these prisoners breaking out. Can you take away their gadgets so they actually stay in prison?
You're right, Spider-Man. I see the error of my ways. It was truly foolish of me not to remove the gadgets and gizmos from our inmates.
Where he goes, you know what, Spider-Man? I see the error of my ways. I won't give all the
Gadgets and gizmos
to my villains. Dude, he literally says, I don't feel...
You just put up the clip.
Yeah, I put up the clip. That's fucking... That's crazy, Stanley.
Like they shouldn't have done that. But then here we see his first of the new abilities that come. He gets new abilities as he goes on, and this one is his little ticker spring tail.
He just evolves.
His usual MO. First thing he does is he goes after J. Jonah Jameson, but Peter Parker is there, right? Spider-Man comes and stops him. We don't see Spider-Man using these like web bolos and stuff like that as much.
What?
They
had that back in the day?
Scorpion takes him out, swings him around, and drops him in the river, and then webs him up, and that's really it. So then Scorpion decides to lay low for a while. It's about 5 years in real time, and then he shows up in Captain America number 122. Not too long after that, Jerry Conway and Gene Colan have Scorpion show up in Daredevil. He shows up.
Oh damn, he fights just about everybody.
Black Widow, he fights with Daredevil a little bit, and Black Widow kicks him.
A little bit of Black Widow too?
He dies. Like in the next issue, there he is on a stretcher. He's done. He's dead. And Mr. Hyde shows up and steals the body, and the whole thing turns out they were robots designed by the assassin. And at this point, Captain America is teamed up with the Falcon. So that's the fourth major hero that we've seen Scorpion fight with.
Hey yo,
the Falcon too.
Robot Scorpion.
Dude, they could use him now. They could have used him in the movie. I don't think he wouldn't be as hype as Red Hulk. But the whole point
of
he
would be hyped to me.
You know, the whole point of the Red Hulk is that it was supposed to be a secret, but it wouldn't be hype for the normies, the normal people, because they're gonna see that the Red Hulk can be cool. That movie is probably gonna do fine.
No, it's not. 400 mil.
This time with artist.
Oh yeah, well I forgot about that. Let me go ahead and retract my statement. Back to Spider-Man.
Boss Andrew brings Scorpion back to his roots in Amazing Spider-Man number 145. Now this is part of the Clone Saga, as Gwen Stacy is just apparently come back from the dead, and Peter Parker is like shook. He's like, I don't know who is doing this and who's messing with me, but I am mad. That's not really a good time for the Scorpion to show up, but he does. And Spider-Man is just like, man, I am looking for something to punch. So you think Scorpion's gonna get wrecked, but he actually takes out Spider-Man and seemingly kills him. He throws him into a cement mixer water thing and turns it on.
See, he beats his ass.
I beat Spider-Man. I killed Spider-Man. But if you are keeping track, he's gotten the upper hand on several of these heroes several times. Not for the long haul, but a little bit. Since Scorpion thinks he beat Spider-Man, he does the only logical thing, and he breaks into a mafia house, and he's like, I'm here to take over because I killed Spider-Man. And they're like, what? You are an idiot. He's like, no, I'm taking over your territory because I got Spider-Man. I beat him. They're like, turn on the news. He turns on the news. Spider-Man's there. He's alive and well. And they all just pull out their guns and shoot on him, and he's like, oh, okay. So he just takes off. But it is in these Captain Marvel issues where he does say, like, I am stuck in this costume. I can't feel the sun on my own skin. Jameson, you ruined my life. And like, where did that come from? We don't know. It's never been the case before. He's been out of his costume several times, but this time they say he's stuck in it. So I was like, oh, maybe that's where this thing came from. Then in Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 21, Scorpion shows back up. Right there on the cover, he's in that cool costume again, but inside he's in there and he's like, I've been hiding in the sewer for how long? He doesn't even know how long. Like, he's kind of going mad. He references getting covered in the acid. His eye is still all scarred up, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna get Jameson because screw that guy. So he goes and he breaks
Yeah,
into
he's
the
all about
scientist's
killing
house that made
Jameson.
him Scorpion in the first place, and he redoes the experiment and gets his powers. He's like, I'm even stronger now. And it's kind of hinted that he's not. He's just crazy. He's just losing his mind. Spider-Man shows up, just beats the crap out of him. Like this, other times he really got the edge on Spider-Man, and this time he is just flat out destroyed. Spider-Man
Getting
just
dog,
beats the
yeah,
crap out
yeah.
of him
He's
and rips his
he's
mask
turning
off.
into
He's like, what are you
a.
doing? He's like, man, I'm showing you that you are nuts. Look at this. This mask comes off, and he's like, holy crap, maybe I am crazy. Like I thought I could.
That's pretty funny.
Just take it off.
That's pretty funny. I die laughing.
So he's not
about it.
actually. So he's not actually stuck in it.
No, yeah, he's turning him more and more into the joke character.
It's Marvel Team Up number 106 from 1981, 17 years after his debut. It's Spider-Man and Captain America, and this one, he is in prison, Scorpion is, and he's not looking too good. But once again, he convinces everybody, hey, give me my suit. They're like, okay, that'll help with your rehabilitation. They give him a suit, and he immediately breaks out, and this time he actually goes and gathers a bunch of tech and stuff and builds himself this tail that shoots the big laser. Once again, like, that is something that I thought was just there from the get-go, but it wasn't. It took about 14 appearances.
Damn.
Like I said, 17 years before he got...
It took them 17 years to give him the laser beam / the
So
acid
he was
stick.
just a guy with super strength.
And a tail. And a mechanical tail that was clipped to his back. If you go back a little bit, he has pictures of Spider-Man ripping it open and then having the mechanical parts of the tail back.
Damn, I didn't know that.
So this is
He
giving,
didn't have his poison either.
this is definitely giving me proper ideas. He ran around. He could have been in a Captain America movie.
Actually, he could have just been anywhere. He goes around and fights anybody.
Yeah, he literally could have been anywhere, especially in
Just
the
as a
MCU.
cameo in any of these movies.
Got this iconic part of his costume. He also goes and hires a team of thugs to work with him, and he's like, we're gonna take over the city. And they're like, okay, and what's the first thing he does? Goes to the Daily Bugle to attack J. Jonah Jameson. Only this time, Steve Rogers is there for a job interview because he's a cartoonist. Steve Rogers, of course, Captain America. So this time there's Spider-Man and Captain America available to stop the Scorpion.
Okay, yeah.
And
Put
this
this
dude
man-
gets jumped.
Put this man in a fucking Captain America thing. Nobody will. It won't make any sense other than to the people that look at these comics, because that's pretty fucking funny.
Dude, he gets jumped.
Dude, he's tried to attack people at S.H.I.E.L.D. a shit ton of times. He tried to attack Jameson fucking 50 times.
That's my favorite thing right there.
Is Captain America fighting that lizard?
Dude, he goes everywhere.
Spider-Man actually takes care of them both, kind of knocks Spider-Man out and throws him out.
No!
Oh
Jump
no!
up and
Wait,
save him.
he got
Scorpion once
upgraded.
again runs off
No, he didn't. That was fake.
Jameson. He's like,
Oh,
okay, in the
shit.
clutches. Is this the end
No,
of
he got
Jameson this
upgraded
time?
with
No.
the laser beam.
No, well, he got the laser beam, but he didn't get like juiced. He didn't get any extra power. He just fucked him up.
You guys really like this
Spider-Man
guy.
and Captain America show up and they beat him, and this kind of solidifies that.
They-
I guess. So
they
that's
chopped
where
his
this
tail
comes
off.
From. Like, Scorpion is just not a threat.
Dude,
You know,
it
he's
took
totally
Captain America and
respect
Spider-Man
for
to take
some
down
of
a
this.
fucking
I think they
lizard?
faltered. I'm not saying they did falter. There's more Scorpion
That's
tales to
hilarious.
come in the future, obviously. After this, he would join the Masters of Evil very briefly and tussle with the Avengers. He would go on to fight Alpha Flight. He would fight Deathlock. He would fight the Shroud. He would fight Captain America again. And actually, he doesn't have that many more appearances before he becomes Venom. And then he was Venom for over a decade before becoming the Scorpion.
What?
I want to see him as Venom.
He was the Venom? I mean, he was literally Venom. He wasn't Eddie Brock. They're not doing that shit, but but that's fucking cool to know.
And it's just one of those things. Like, I thought Scorpion was kind of this omnipresent force in Spider-Man's life. I thought he was always there, but really, he hasn't been there a heck of a lot. I find it very interesting to take a look at some of these villains that are created, and they have very sporadic appearances over the years.
It's weird to see that no matter what happens, his suit happens to look like he's talking through the pieces,
Yeah, that's all.
visually speaking. And this is an upgraded version. Like, look at the art. The art's nice.